Hey there, a very happy Saturday to you. I'm King 5 meteorologist Ashley Ruiz with a look at your Saturday forecast. We have some very active weather up ahead this weekend, though we're going to have sun breaks. We'll have rain at times and breezy conditions. The main event comes Monday, an atmospheric river, a pretty strong one for that matter. But today we're just going to have scattered showers at times, breezy. It's been windy, but it's going to be windy for some of us, but definitely not as strong as last night and then early this morning. With king tide still around, minor coastal flooding around high tide, and snow generally above 4,000 feet. We just did not see that snow really falling over Stevens Pass is what we were previously thinking. So that winter storm warning canceled. Into Sunday, we'll have rain to start, tapering off to showers, sun breaks in the mix, breezy at times, especially in the afternoon, but more rain arrives overnight with that atmospheric river moving in. The heaviest rain looks to fall on Monday and again Tuesday night and into Wednesday. The timing could definitely change, but Monday, that's when we're expecting the strongest winds, heavy rain, and potentially next week, river and urbanized flooding. We'll have to see where exactly this atmospheric river takes aim, because it could move a little more to the south or move a little to the north. But Washington, Oregon going to get the greatest impacts out of this. I skipped ahead to Monday. You see all of those very vibrant, warm colors, and then it tapers to cool colors. So we have this a lot of moisture in place all the way from the subtropics. So that is that atmospheric river. And you see how it kind of oscillates a little bit into Tuesday. And so it's not just a steady fire hose all the way into Washington. That is going to mean we're going to have some of that moisture pull back a little bit. So we'll likely have breaks in between the rounds of rain, which is a good thing. That way we can catch up. Some of our streams can start to subside just a little bit, and then maybe some of our roads just starting to see some of that drainage, so to catch up, but still going to be very, very heavy as this atmospheric river takes aim. And I wanted to show you on the futurecast as well, just to show you it's just wave after wave. Sunday morning we'll have showers, quick moving system. Then we get into Monday. You see there's round one. You see what I mean, how it kind of oscillates and some of that rain starts to move more to the south. So we'll get some breaks, but then more rain, potentially some heavy rain, will move into Wednesday. Now the latest model guidance is cutting that atmospheric river off a little bit into our Thursday, which would be a good thing because we don't need all of this rain. But for now, the Weather Prediction Center, this is their excessive rain outlook. This is essentially showing us where the heaviest rain will be. The yellow, that indicates where we have the greater chance for the heaviest rain to set up into Monday, which will be over the mountains, the coast, and especially for South Sound all the way into the southwest interior and just southwestern Washington. You see Seattle and Puget Sound in that marginal, that green color. So we're still going to get that heavy rain. It's just where you see the yellow, that's where we'll have the heaviest rain set up. Into Tuesday, it's really focused more so the coast and then more to the south from about Chehalis southward. And then into Wednesday, you see how that yellow starts to go back up. So the greater risk for some of that heavy rain will move closer to Puget Sound. So there's going to be a very sharp line of where we get maybe 1-2 inches of rain versus 4 to 6 inches of rain. I'll show you what some of the models are showing. But today, showers, sun breaks, a little gusty. On Sunday, rain to showers, sun breaks. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we've gone ahead and issued a first alert just because of that risk for the rounds of heavy rain, windy conditions, and those river rises. Some of the latest forecasts for our rivers starting to go down a little bit, but again, this is all based on some of what the computer models are showing too, so it's likely going to change. We'll have to see where that slug of moisture moisture, all of the really the vibrant colors I was showing you on the available moisture. So we'll have to see where some of the greatest moisture and the highest moisture will be, because that's where we'll get the heaviest rain. So again, we'll fine tune it as we get closer. But Wednesday and into Thursday, also going to be rainy and a little breezy at times. Sunday or Thursday and into Friday, it looks like the rain may start to back off. So again, good thing, but things will likely change. We just wanted to give you a heads up, because either way it's going to impact you. Here's a look around Washington. We have blue sky, sun breaks in Seattle, and then you see elsewhere we have some snow at Paradise, starting to get some fresh snow on Hurricane Ridge as well. And we've had, again, those king tides, and so already starting to see some of the minor coastal flooding for the north interior, but it's going to return tomorrow. I wanted to just show you how erratically the camera is shaking. We had wind gusts over 60 miles per hour for some spots. Alpental around the ski resort area clocked about 77 mile per hour wind gusts just last night. So again, thankfully the winds won't be that strong, but it's strong enough to cause some very high surf. This is from Westport, and they just experienced king tides as well, high tides. You see people just watching some of the rough surf, and then it just going over the jetties and so on and so forth. So with all of that being said, the focus for coastal flooding will be more confined to the interior areas for Sunday. So the north interior, including San Juan County, and then up to Whatcom, Skagit, and then Snohomish County near the water, that's where we have a coastal flood advisory from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. Sunday and around high tide, because of those king tides. Even with king tides coming to an end Sunday, we're still going to have that potential for some coastal flooding into next week. So let's dive into today's forecast, and I'll show you what alerts we have, other alerts we have in place. Highs today in the 50s. Tonight we'll have that rain moving in, 40s. And then for tomorrow, we'll have rain to start. And then, as I mentioned, we're going to have sun breaks, rain comes to an end, tapers off before we get that next round. Low and mid 50s tomorrow, also going to be quite gusty. You may have heard this. We've been talking about it. This was issued, the flood watch issued yesterday. This is in place for all of Western Washington from late Sunday night, so Monday morning really, all the way through at least Friday, because of the waves and rounds of rain. This is the latest model from the European model, but keep in mind this updates several times a day, and it's having a hard time figuring out where as I mentioned, where most of the moisture will set up, because atmospheric rivers, while they are large, it's still a very narrow window of where we'll have the heaviest rain set up. So this is through Friday, and you see a very distinct line of where we get maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain, all the way to about 2 to 5 to the south. And you notice up in the mountains, we have several inches of rain, not snow, because snow levels will be quite high. Now, this estimated rain totals will likely change again as we start to see that atmospheric river roll in. Either way, it does appear as though the heaviest rain will fall over the mountains, the coast, and then mainly from the South Sound southward. But that doesn't mean Seattle, we won't get over a couple of inches of rain. It's still likely we're going to at least average from about maybe 1 to 3 for the North Sound, and then about maybe 2 to 5 from Central South Sound. So again, we'll fine tune all of that as we get a little closer. I mentioned snow levels are going to be high, so above pass level, and they may even come up even more. So all of this moisture that falls, all the precipitation going to fall as rain for some of the lower elevations, and so we'll get that high elevation snow, but it's not going to be much really for Stevens Pass, for example. This is through Sunday. We still have that potential to get several inches of snow, but the higher elevations are going to get the most of it. I mentioned that with all of this heavy rain, high snow levels, our temperatures are going to be well into the 50s. So that just goes to show how warm this air mass will be. Now this is going to change. This is the river forecast as of noon Saturday, and it's showing some of our rivers, Skagit near Mount Vernon, Snohomish at Snohomish, and then near Monroe, Snoqualmie near Carnation, at least moderate, maybe major flood stage. Now I will say from this update to this morning's update, a few of them no longer forecast to be in that major flood stage, but either way, we're still going to have to watch these very carefully, because you see Snoqualmie near Carnation right now, at least as of noon, of about 47 feet, but then potentially cresting around 58 feet. That would be the morning of the 11th. So this will likely change. We're watching this very carefully. And then you see some of our other rivers. I just picked about 8 of them. You see at least minor flood stage for some of them. If anything changes, obviously we'll let you know. Now let's talk about the timing, because again, we have a lot to go over. Here's a look going forward into tonight. This is Sunday morning, and you see how we get this one wave of rain. It's going to be light, maybe moderate. Then it's going to taper off. We'll get some sun breaks into the afternoon, and then here comes that first wave of rain. This is Monday morning, give or take a couple hours. Plan accordingly for your Monday commute, because it's likely going to be a bit sloppy. Then we get into the afternoon. You see how we start to see more oranges, reds showing up. That's indicating the heavier rain. So you see the banding of oranges over the mountains, the Cascades and the foothills, once again closer to Hood Canal and then the coast. Again, that's where we're expecting some of the heaviest rain to set up, and it's pretty consistent all day long, except where we get potentially some rain shadowing setting up. So Seattle, Everett, some spots may not get heavy rain out of this. But then we get into Monday night. You see how that moisture starts to push more to the south. I showed you earlier how that atmospheric river could oscillate a little bit. Some of that moisture could move into Oregon. That's where we would get some of the heavier rain setting up, at least for portions of the day. That's Tuesday morning. Then we get, you see how rain starts to spread over the area again. This is Tuesday evening, and then into Wednesday. Here's Wednesday morning, and then how it just slowly tapers off. But again, keep in mind this could definitely change, but we just wanted to give you a first alert heads up, because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's when we'll likely feel the greatest impacts from this atmospheric river. Things could change, timing could change, the severity of the impacts could definitely change, but just something to keep in mind heading into next week, because not only is it just going to be wet and windy at times, and we have to watch out for some of those river rises. We could have landslide risk, possibly some debris flows where some of the heavy rain sets up over the mountains, burn scars, but a lot could change. You're going to be out and about, kids at school, and so on and so forth. So either way, this will likely impact you at some point. And it's not meant to scare you by any means. We just want you to be prepared. If you live by the rivers, you usually know what to do if they start to enter flood stage, and so on and so forth. If you live in poor drainage zones, urbanized areas, or you're just traveling in poor drainage, we well know it rains even just a quick downpour, and we have street flooding, so we know how it goes. Just make sure you take proper precautions and you stay up to date with us on air, online, King 5 Plus. You can find our updates on YouTube, and then king5.com on social media. And then tonight, Leah will bring you the latest details and what you can expect if any changes have occurred to the forecast.